What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at yet another battery powered dual action polisher. Now dual action just means that it both rotates and oscillates, which makes it create less heat on the paint. So you run a much lower risk of burning through your paint when you're polishing your car. Great for the professional, but really great for the beginner because you can really get a hold of this thing and have confidence that you're not going to do any damage to your paint. So today's video, we are looking at the Kobalt 24-volt dual action polisher. I just picked this up. This is the cheapest one I've found so far, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see what I think. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. It helps me out tremendously, and I hope I bring some value to you guys as well. Now this is tool only at $129, considerably cheaper than the competition. The Ryobi, which I have right here, tool only at $199. Actually I found it on Amazon for less. Basically, I think I have a note here, 189 bucks. The Dewalt right here, you can get as low as 230 bucks. Yeah, 230 bucks on Amazon. Right up front, guys, if you're a professional, this is the way to go. Don't even mess around with the Ryobi or Kobalt. But the Dewalt, no qualms to it. It's a 15mm throw, really powerful motor, does great at corrections. Batteries last a long time. If you already have the battery system, then it's a really good value. So moving on, back onto the Kobalt. The Kobalt comes with a 6-inch backing plate. Not my personal favorite. I like a 5-inch backing plate. The Ryobi and the Dewalt came with 5-inch backing plates. This one's just a little bit big. Now, jumping into the box, it does come with, it comes with 3 pads. It comes with I think it's black, blue, and yellow, I think are the colors. For some reason, mine, brand new out of the box, right from Lowe's, I only have 1 pad. I don't know if, now, let me show you guys here. My box did have a big old gash in it. I don't know if someone got in there and stole the other pads, but I mean, it was locked up under the cage, under all the power tools. It still had like zip ties across it. So I don't know what happened there, but I only got 1 pad, which is a bit of a bummer, especially because I wanted to test these out. Now the yellow supposedly is their heaviest cutting pad. And I'll tell you right now, it's not super aggressive. So again, for the DIYer, it'll probably do great. For a professional, I mean, really, this is almost between this is like a light polishing pad in my opinion. The downfall of it is because they only gave me 1 pad that fits on the 6-inch backing plate, right? So it fits nicely. But since I only got this 1 pad and I wanted to give it a fair assessment of the polisher, I wanted to use my pads that I always use. And for that, I needed it to be a 5-inch backing plate. So what I did is I actually took the backing plate off the Ryobi, put it on this, and I tested it that way. Now, along with the instruction manual, it also came with a tool. It came with a little wrench so you can actually get behind it and remove the backing plate. So that's nice. And then it also comes with 2 different types of handles, which is cool, just depending on what you like. So there's actually 3 options for you here. You can have just a side handle that you can attach to the right or left hand side. Okay, so if you like to hold it like that, they give you the option. Let me just screw this in real quick so I can show you guys. Really simple, and there you go. You can be holding onto it like this and working on the panel. Additionally, they give you a D-ring, type of a handle. And you can actually do this either way as well. But then you have the option of kind of holding it off to the side, holding it here. So it's nice that they give you that as well. And the third option is just holding onto the head. Okay, not quite as comfortable as a head as the Ryobi was. The Ryobi really fit in your hand really nice. This one's a little bit thicker of a shape. Does have a nice little finger grip right on the top here. So it was comfortable. I liked it. It did work well. It's just take that into consideration. They do give you those 3 options. I just run it like this, my personal preference. But yeah, it's nice they give you all those options. Now let's go ahead and look at the features of the polisher itself. I like the design of this polisher better than the Ryobi. It's actually very similar to the Dewalt. Obviously the overall size is much different. The Dewalt is just a beast of a machine. I mean, it looks like little baby and big daddy over here, you know, like this thing is substantial. It's also a lot heavier. But if you look at the overall design, you can see the batteries sit at the same direction. on both of these units. They both have a progressive trigger, which is really, really awesome. Basically what that is, if you guys saw my other videos in the past, you know what that is, but basically you can, typically when you're starting off polishing, you want to start slow, spread your product around, then turn it up to a higher speed and get to work. Well, on this, I can leave it on 5, which is its high speed. Just pull the trigger a little bit. Starts off nice and slow. It's a progressive trigger, so go a little bit more, and then full speed. Very, very, very nice. I'm a huge fan of that. They did a fantastic job with that. The Kobalt really took and looked at the form factor of some of the best, professional grade polishers and mimicked that. A variable speed trigger is really, really great. They also have a trigger lock on this side, so you can get it all compressed, push the button in, and you're good to go. Now, one of the things that I didn't like about the DeWalt, which I've gotten used to, it doesn't bother me anymore, but on this one, again, progressive trigger, but the locking mechanism was on this side of the unit. So instead of being able to just pull the trigger and lock it with my thumb comfortably, you would have to use these 2 fingers to do it over here. Again, not a big deal. I got completely used to it. However, the Kobalt, again, it's all on the right side, so it's super easy to lock into place. Really, really nice. Now, this polisher comes in at a much, much lower rating. I opened up the head of this thing, and I was trying to figure out the exact throw of the machine. What's the offset of it? I couldn't find anything in the manual. I couldn't find anything online. It looks to me to be an 8mm throw. I can't confirm it, but it looks small enough in there. And then while you're using it, it just doesn't seem like it's throwing the pad that much. The higher the number of offset, typically the more correction you get out of it, because it's just going through and correcting everything. Boom, 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 boom. More aggressive versus this. So, but not a problem. A lot of the old Porter cable, 7424 XP stuff that I started on originally, that stuff was all 8mm throws. Just the 15s and the 21s and these larger throws have been relatively new, right? I mean, over the last couple of years for sure. Time flies, so I don't know, at least 5 years. Probably 10, I don't know. Time goes so fast. I'm bad at that. But this looks to me to be an 8mm throw. And as you guys can see, the size difference between a 5-inch backing plate on the Ryobi to a 6-inch backing plate on the Kobalt, much, much bigger. I much, much prefer the 5-inch. One thing that I do not like, guys, let me go ahead and open this up real quick. I'm gonna pull this backing plate off and show you. Okay, guys, so comparing this thing to the Ryobi, I'm gonna compare those two because they're both in that similar grade of tool. Obviously the DeWalt is a nicer tool. So between the Ryobi and the Kobalt, here is the head open on the Ryobi. If you watch, this is the offset here, right? So just listen to how it operates. Smooth. Now let's go ahead and move over to the Kobalt. Here it is, okay, and listen to this. So it doesn't, it's like I just push a little bit and it tracks quite a bit away, and then it does a little shake at the end, and I don't know what's up with that. So I don't like that, personally. Now, let's go ahead and talk about function of the machine though, because I did use this today. I was working on a, gosh, what was it? A Mazda 3 hatchback. I wanted to use this. I'll tell you right now, I did buy batteries. Again, this thing came tool only, so I did have to buy batteries. And I bought a kit. It's a charger and 2 4-amp-hour batteries for this thing for 150 bucks. So all in, I'm into this thing for under 300 bucks with 2 batteries that will last you a good amount of time. They slide right on and off. It's a perfect little situation. This thing does have a little vent system here that apparently you can pop off, but it's just good so no dust and things like that get in there. The batteries also do have indicators on them for power. So again, I was using this thing with a 5-inch backing plate. All right, guys, really quickly before we jump into the video of me actually using it, I just want to show you. It does have 5 different selections, 1 through 5. No tactical feel, no noise, no clicking. anywhere through it. So it is what it is. And now this thing's only rated, again, I believe it's an 8mm throw, and it is actually only rated from 2300 to 3800 oscillations per minute, which is pretty lightweight. So the max shines, the corded polishers run to 5200, I believe. The DeWalt went to 5500. The Ryobi, because it's a smaller throw, sometimes they need a little more oscillation per minute, and usually because of a smaller throw, it gets more oscillations per minute because it's more concise. This one rates to 7500 oscillations per minute. And like I said, the Kobalt only goes to 3800, so it's not the most powerful machine. It definitely gets the job done. I think it's a great choice for polishing and wax application. 99% effective for what a DIYer is gonna need. But as a professional, the correction ability, it takes too long. You'd have to really sit there and work it for a long time. So it's just not a great option in my opinion for the professional. Now again, form factor of the machine, it's very, very comfortable to work with. I like the battery sits sideways across the back of it, so you don't have to worry about it hitting, versus the Ryobi where it had to arch, the handle of it arches up. It's very comfortable, it's nice textured around the handles and everything else, but one thing to note, again, on the form of the machine, guys, there's no, usually, here I'll just grab this. So on the Ryobi you have this nice rubberized pad, and then also the head of the unit is rubberized, so when you set it down, it's not rubbing hard onto hard plastic. The DeWalt, same situation. You have a nice rubberized piece here, and then it just runs down to this rubberized piece here around the selection indicator. So everything is really nice. You're not going to damage it when you lay it down. However, with this machine, you can just sit it straight up. You can just put it on the battery and it does stand up. So, you know, it's just, I personally would have liked if they had given us some sort of option as opposed to just this plastic that's just going to get ruined over time. Now the 4 amp hour battery, guys, did a great job. It got me around the car, no problem. I did have to work it slower. So battery life, you could definitely get around the car, no problem with that at a polishing pace, not correction or anything like that, but faster than just waxing. So, or slower than just waxing. You can actually take your time and get some stuff done with it with that battery. So now one last thing to mention on build quality, backing here where the pad goes in, the gap's a little large for me. Personally, I mean, whatever, I guess it's okay. But the plastic they use just seems really cheap. So you can see on the Ryobi's much better than, the material seems to be much better. You can hear it. Okay, it's plastic, but it seems to be a much higher grade plastic versus the Kobalt. It just seems cheap. So again, for the DIYer, if you're already using Kobalt tools, this is a no-brainer. I for sure would get this. If you're just, you know, waxing your cars on the weekends, you want to make it faster, you want to use a machine to do it, fantastic option. Light polishing, fantastic option. Full-blown corrections, no. Even if you're trying to remove a scratch, it'll get it out. It's just going to take a while. You have to use aggressive pads. I would still change out the backing plate. Again, I wasn't able to test all the pads that they came with because mine, for some reason, only came with the yellow, even though it's supposed to come with 2 others. And that is it, guys. So benefits and downfalls between the Ryobi and the Kobalt. Really, performance-wise, the Ryobi is better. Gets higher oscillations per minute, seems much more powerful, so that's nice. Everything else, design-wise, I like the Kobalt better, just because of the progressive trigger. I like having the indicator on the back here. I like having the trigger lock on the side here. I like how the battery sits sideways. Versus the Ryobi, the battery sits facing the front of the machine. So that's why they had to arch this up to make it all fit. If it was straight across, it'd be in the way of the polishing head. The on-off switch on the Ryobi is terrible. It's really, I'm sure you'd get used to it, so take that for what it's worth. But just for me, I don't like it. No variable speed trigger, so that's a bummer. The selector guide is over here. Again, not my favorite, but it does come with a 5-inch backing plate, which is much better. It comes with the little rubberized pieces so you can lay it down. So that's nice. Overall, guys, which one would I buy? If I were to buy a dual action battery powered polisher, for sure, number 1, the DeWalt by far. Again, so the DeWalt, 230 bucks. 200 bucks, or actually 190 you can get it to, and 129 bucks. So considerably cheaper. So if you're already a Kobalt battery owner, it's a great choice, especially if you're not a professional and you're just doing stuff on the weekend. Great choice. If you are a professional looking to get a good dual action polisher that's battery powered, go DeWalt, especially if you're like me and already have a bunch of DeWalt tools. So that's it, guys. I hope that video helps you. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. That's it. We'll see you on the next one.